Welcome students. In this video we'll learn about the design of end block for a post tension PSC beam. The anchorage end of a post tension PSC beam is subjected to higher stresses as compared to the other sections of the beam, because the end sections the end of the section is the anchorage end, another is the tensioned end where the tensioning the stresses where the tensioning is done. So therefore the stresses at the point of location of the force will be at higher side. The state of the stress is complex and three-dimensional in nature. So this portion of the post tension member surrounding the anchorages of the tendon is termed as end block. This end block in post tension member has to be designed to withstand anchorage zone stresses. If else, the section may fail or even burst due to tensile stresses. For design, the length of now how much the length we have to consider for the end block. That means end block is the end portion of a beam, so which has to be designed additional. So how much length we need to consider for this design. So as per the code specification, the length of the section or the length of the end block is taken as the depth of the section. How much is the depth of the section is there? So that much length of the end block has to be designed for the anchorage zone stresses. And now let us see the stress distribution for the end block. What is the stress distribution, which is three-dimensional? We'll see for different plates, anchor plates. Now for different anchor plate, the stress distribution will be different. Now let us consider the single anchor plate, the stress distribution for the single anchor plate, where 2p is the depth of the anchor plate, 2y0 is the depth of the section end block. The stress distribution is divided into zone A, B and C, where zone A is the compressive zone. We see this compressive zone stresses there, and in zone B it is the transverse tensile stresses, and the zone C we see the straight lines, which is longitudinal stress zone. So the depth of the anchor plate is 2 yp naught. So the depth of the anchor plate is 2 yp naught, and 2p is the pre-stressing force, and depth of the section is 2 y naught, the end section. This was for the single anchor plate. Now if we use two anchor plates for the pre-stressing, so which is double anchor plate, this is the stress distribution diagram for the double anchor plate. It is clear in the figure that the radius of the curvature of the lines of force is reduced to half, and the length of the anchorage zone is reduced to half. The transfer tensile tension is also proportionally reduced if you use two anchor plates instead of single anchor plate. Greater number of points of application of pre-stressing force on end block, more uniform is the stress distribution. If you have more number of application of this pre-stressing force on the end block instead of one point, so then the stress distribution will be more uniform. So you will get more uniform pre-stressing force for double anchor plate as compared to the single anchor plate. As similarly for three anchor plates, the stress distribution will be even more uniform. Now this is the bursting tension tension distribution diagram, the tensile stress distribution. The effect of transfer tensile stress is to develop a zone of bursting tension. So the tensile stresses, this zone B, which is nothing but the transverse tensile stress. So this transverse tensile stress will develop a zone of bursting tension in the direction perpendicular to the anchorage force, resulting in horizontal cracking as shown in this figure. Now the section has to be designed for against this bursting tension force. Now let us see the isobars of transverse tensile stress. What are these isobars? The lines of equal transverse tensile stresses are termed as isobars. That means if you mark the equal tensile stresses in a end block and we will join those, we will get a area diagram. So that area diagram is the isobars. So all the lines of equal transverse, if you join, you'll get the isobars. The effect of height of anchor plate on stress distribution in transfer direction is as shown here. So that means what is the effect of the depth of the anchor plate? Suppose if you don't have any depth of the anchor plate, you don't have any anchor plate at all. So y p naught, the ratio depth of anchor plate to the depth of the section, y p naught by y naught is 0. So then this is the distribution, isobar distribution diagram. And if you have the distribution as y p naught by y naught is equal to 0.25, you have the height of the anchor plate, some height of the anchor plate whose ratio is 0.25, then this is the distribution diagram. So if you compare, the compressive stress distribution will be more and the tension stresses will get reduced. Now similarly, if you increase the depth of the anchor plate still more, that means if I take the ratio as y p naught by y naught, that is depth of the anchor plate to the depth of the section, if I take that ratio as 0.5 and increase the anchor plate depth as compared to the previous one, then we will see that the zone of compression is get increased and the tension stresses are getting reduced. And if I take the ratio of the transverse stress to the horizontal stress, Fv is the transverse stress and F is the horizontal compressive stress, horizontal compressive stress. And if I take that ratio and compare for these, with increase in the depth of the anchor plate, we see that the ratio is getting reduced. So that means the tensile stresses is getting reduced and the compressive stresses is getting increased. And if you we know that the concrete is good in compression, then these compressive stresses can be taken up by the concrete, and we are trying to reduce the tensile stresses. If you increase the depth of the anchor plate, the tensile stresses will get reduced. So this is nothing but the isobars of transverse tensile stresses. So that is, as the height of the anchor plate increases, the bursting tensile stress reduces compared to tensile stresses, compared to tensile stress. The average transverse tensile stress to the average compressive stress, Fe is the tensile stress, transverse tensile stress, and F is the compressive stress. So that ratio gets, we have seen that the ratio gets decreased or reduces as the depth of the anchor plate increases, as the ratio of depth of anchor plate to the depth of the end block, yp naught by y naught. Yp naught is the depth of the anchor plate, that is 2 yp naught, and depth of the section is 2 y naught. So it is yp naught, 2 yp naught by 2 y naught is yp naught by y naught. So with increase in this ratio, the ratio of the ratio Fv by F will also decrease, with the increase of this ratio. This Fe is the transverse tensile stress and F is the average compressive stress, which can be taken as the P by A direct stress. Now these anchorage zone stresses for the design of this end portion of the post tension beam, so these anchorage stresses has to be investigated. We need to determine those stresses, magnify these stresses. So we have different methods for investigation of these stresses. Some of them are, we have Bagnall's method, Zelensky and Rovers method, Guyon's method, and we have IS code method. So these these are the 4 methods. Now instead of going in detail of these methods, we will solve numerical problems we will estimate the anchorage zone stresses using these methods. We will take the same data and solve by these methods. Now let us solve a problem. By Bagnall's method. Now this is the section is rectangular section 120 mm by 300 mm. The pre-stressing force is 250 kilonewton. Distribution plate, the anchor plate is 120 by 75 mm, which is concentrically located. We have problems of concentric location and eccentric location. Now what is asked is, you have to determine the position and magnitude of maximum tensile stress on the horizontal section using Bagnall's method. Let us solve this problem. First we'll draw the section. The size of the section is 120 by 300. The anchor plate is 120 by 75. So 125 is the width, 75 is the depth. So it is concentrically located. So the center of the section and the center of the anchor plate coincides. So this is the anchor plate. So this depth is 75 mm. Now let us consider maximum tensile stress. Consider maximum tensile stress F minimum, or which is Fv, at x is equal to 0.5. That means we know that the stress will increase from one section to the next section. So the maximum is we'll assume it as at 0.5 h. That means half the depth of the section. So that means x is equal to 0.5 and the depth is 300 mm. So x is 150 mm. Now for this Magnell's method we require a table by Magnell's. So this is the table with in reference of a pre-stress concrete text N by N Krishnaraju in table number 10.1. So this is the table. So we have constants K1, K2, K3 constants by Magnell. These are the coefficients for stresses in end blocks. So these coefficients are for a different x by h ratio. X is the distance of maximum stress value and h is the depth of the section. So for the x by h ratio, these are the K1, K2, K3. Now for this problem we are assuming the maximum is at x by h equal to 0.5. So for that 0.5 the values of K1, K2, K3 are -5, -5, +2 and +1.25. So values are from table 10.1 of Magnell's for x equal to, from the this is 10.1 is the reference of the textbook, x N Krishnaraju, x by h is equal to, for x by h equal to 0.5. So K1 value is -5, K2 value is +2, K3 value is 1.25. Now after calculating this, now we will calculate the direct stress. So the direct stress Fh is, its formula is P by B into H into bracket 1 plus 12 E dash by H dash whole square, or it can be calculated for by P by B into H for concentric. If it is eccentric, this is the formula, E dash by H dash. Now as this is concentric problem, so E dash is 0. So therefore Fh is equal to P by B into H. So this P by for E equal to 0, it is E dash equal to 0. Now we'll have another problem of eccentric problem where we have some E dash value. So that is E dash is the eccentricity of the anchor plate with respect to the section. So that is E dash. Now this is eccentric concentric problem. So P is 250 into 10 to the power of 3 divided by 120 into 300. So Fh is 6.94 Newton per mm square. Now calculate Fv. This is horizontal stress. Vertical stress Fv is formula given by Magnell is K1 into m by b into h square plus K2 into h by bh. This is the formula where m is the bending moment. So this bending moment is this is the anchor plate, this is the end section, this is P by 2, this is P by 2, this is P by 2. So the moment is P by 2 due to the moment is m is the moment at a section. So for the moment is P by 2 into the distance, that is this 75 by 4. This is 75 by 4. This distance is 75 by 4. It is in clockwise direction. The moment is clockwise direction. So m is equal to, so let us take that as minus, so P by 2 into 75 by 4 plus. Now you have stress distribution. It is direct stress distribution P by A. This is eccentric, concentric stress distribution. So concentric stress distribution is P by A at bottom fiber, top fiber is also P by A. So you have constant stress distribution, and the width is 120 and the total depth is 300 and this much is 150. Now moment due to this stress is, and this moment is anti-clockwise, so therefore it is positive. We'll take it as positive. So positive stress is 6.94. Horizontal stress distribution is 6.94. So 6.94 into the width 120 by depth is this much depth 150. This depth 150, 120 by 150 into the CG distance is 150 by 2. So if we calculate this by substituting p value, we will get m is equal to 7.02 into 10 to the power of 6 Newton mm. Now this h is 0 here in the formula. The h is 0 as there is no direct force or vertical force. No direct force, transverse or vertical. Now next, now substitute this in Fv. So Fv is equal to, substituting m and h, we will get Fv as constant K1 m and b h square. So minus 5 constant 7.02 into 10 to the power of 6 divided by b 120. H is the depth of the section 300 square. So we will get it as Fv is equal to minus 3.25 Newton per mm square. I calculate the shear stress tau v. Tau formula is tau is equal to, given by Magnell is K3 into V by BH, where V is the shear force. You have calculated the moment. Now calculate the force. it is minus P by 2 into 75 by 4 is the moment value. The shear force is P by 2 minus 6.94 into 120 by 150. So this is the shear force. Substituting P, will get it as 80 Newton. V is equal to 80 Newton. So substitute this V in tau. So we'll get tau is equal to K3 1.25 into 80 V by BH 80 by B 120 into H 300. So we'll get tau value as 0.0026 Newton per mm square. This is the tau value. Now the principal stresses are principal tensile stress, F minimum is equal to FH plus FV divided by 2, you know the formula, FH plus FV divided by 2 minus 1 by 2 root of FH minus FV whole square plus 4 tau square. So if you substitute here, it is 6.94 minus 3.25 divided by 2 minus 1 by 2 root of 6.94 plus 3.25 square plus 4.0026 square. So if you calculate, you will get F minimum value as minus 3.25 Newton per mm square. So this is acting at 150 mm, and you get negative as, then this is tension. Now this is the principal stress by Magnus method. Now you can calculate even the bursting tension force also. So the bursting tension force which is required in the design, so bursting tension force PBST is equal to the area of the, so the diagram, the distribution diagram is, first we will draw the distribution diagram here. So the distribution diagram will be like this. This is the anchor plate. We have considered the maximum stress at value of x by h equal to, so this is x is equal to 0.5 h. So we have considered the maximum stress at a distance of half the depth of the section. So this is equal to 0.5 h. You can write its distance, how much you get it. Now this zero stress value is x by h equal to 0.25. So x is equal to, you can take it as 0.25. So x is equal to 0.25 h. So zero stress value. So this maximum is at 0.5 h. So this value is the principal stress is 3.25 Newton per mm square is the maximum tensile stress. This is the maximum tensile stress. This much is the total depth. How much? This is the end block. The length of the end block is the depth of the section. So the depth of the section is 300. So therefore the length of the end block is 300. So this much is 300. And if we calculate, this width will be 225. The parabolic width will be 225. Now you can calculate the bursting tension force as the area of this diagram. So the total is, so this is Now calculate the area. Area is 2/3 the rectangular. This is parabola, so it is 2/3 the rectangular area. So 2/3 of rectangular area. You can consider this as a rectangle. So 2/3 of that. So it is 225 into, the width is 225, height is 3.25 into the width of the section. So width of the section is 120 mm. So you get it as FPBST as 58.5 kilonewton. So this is the bursting tension force. Now this is the problem for concentric anchor plate. First problem on Magnal. Now we will take another problem on Magnal with eccentric anchor plate. So this is the second problem of Magnal's method with eccentric anchor plate. The size, it is 100 by 200 mm rectangular, free stressing force is mentioned, and it is eccentricity. What is the eccentricity? Eccentric pre-stressing force 100 kilonewton, the line of action of which coincides with the bottom kern of the section. Bottom kern is the bottom kern of the section. The depth of the anchor plate is 50 mm. So you have to estimate the magnitude and position of principal tensile stresses. Now if we draw it, this is the section, 100 mm is the width, 200 mm is the depth. Bottom kern, divide the section into 3 parts. So you will get 1/3 of H, 1/3 of H and 1/3 of H. So the first line is the upper kern and the second line, the bottom, is the bottom kern. The anchor plate is depth of the anchor plate is 50 mm, and it says that the anchor plate coincides with the bottom kern. So earlier it was coinciding with the center of the section. Now it is at the bottom kern. So this is the bottom kern. The anchor plate is the center of the anchor plate and the bottom kern coincides here. So the anchor plate is located here. This is the anchor plate whose depth is 50 mm. This is the diagram, the moment and H values. Now this E dash, we have to calculate first E dash. So let us first, again I will draw the diagram here, the section, this is the center section, this is the upper kern, this is the bottom kern. Upper kern is H by 3, if you calculate it is 66.66 H by 3. So bottom kern again 66.66, and this is also 66.66. So this is the center of the bottom, this is the bottom kern as well as the center of the anchor plate. This is the center of the anchor plate. Now the distance of center of the section to the center of the anchor plate is nothing but the E dash value. So that E dash is, so this is total depth by 2, H by 2. This is depth of the section is 200 mm, so this is 100. So E dash is H by 2 minus H by 3, that is 100 mm minus the H by 3, 66.66. So the E dash eccentricity E dash is 33.33. This is not the eccentricity of the pre-stressing force, this is the eccentricity of the anchor plate with respect to the center of the section. Now we will calculate the stress. For that stress we require, we can calculate by the formula which I mentioned earlier, the equation Fh is equal to P by Bh into bracket 1 plus 12 E dash by H dash whole square. You can calculate with that also, or you can calculate by where E dash is 33.33 and H dash is the depth of the section. You can take it the depth of the section, you will get the same value. Now instead of that we will calculate by stress distribution diagram. So draw the stress distribution diagram, P by A minus or plus P by Z. is the distribution diagram. If you calculate Z section modulus Z, BD square by 6, you will get it as 6.66 into 10 to the power of 5. This distribution is P by A minus or plus P by Z, 100 into 10 to the power of 3 divided by 200 into 100 minus or plus 100 into 10 to the power of 3 into eccentricity 33.33. Now the eccentricity is eccentricity of pre-stressing force itself 33.33. So divided by Z 6.66 into 10 to the power of 5. So if you calculate, it is 5 minus or plus 5. So that means 5 minus 5 is 0 and 5 minus 5 is 5 plus 5 is plus 10. So you get 0 at top and 10 at bottom. So you get triangular distribution, stress distribution. This is the triangular stress distribution, right? So at this section, at this eccentric value, at the pre-stressing force, the value is FH. So you have to calculate that FH. This value is maximum, it is 10 and 0 at the top. So this is the triangular stress distribution. By similar triangles, you need to calculate this FH. So at the pre-stressing force level. So this FH is by similar triangle. So it is FH by 10 is equal to 133.33. So that is this distance. Total depth is 300. This depth is 133.33. Smaller triangle depth is 133.33 and larger depth is 300 mm. So 200 mm, 133.33 divided by 200. So by similar triangles, so you can calculate FH is equal to 6.66 Newton per mm square, or you can calculate by the formula which is mentioned in the previous problem. You will get the same answer. FV is equal to, formula is K1 into m by BH square plus the K2 into H by BH. So this H is 0. There is no force here, horizontal force. Now we have to calculate moment value. So this moment again similarly, if you calculate here, so the moment is minus P by 2 into the depth of the section divided by 4. So the depth of this section is 50 mm, 50 divided by 4 plus the stress moment due to the stress, it is triangular stress distribution. So area is half into 6.66 FH value into 133.33. This is the area into width 100 mm into, this is the force, we will get it, into the CG distance. CG distance is, for a triangle it is 1/3 the distance, 1/3 the height, it is 133.33. So if you calculate this, you will get moment as 1.35 into 10 to the power of 6 Newton mm is the moment value, and the shear force value is minus P by 2 minus 1 by 2 force value, minus 1 by 2 into 6.66 into 133.33 into 100. So this is the force due to stress, due to pre-stressing force P by 2. So the total shear is 5.53 kilonewton. This is the shear force. Now you know M, you know V, you can calculate now FV. So the FV is K1 into m by BH square plus z 0 value, the horizontal component 0. This equals to minus phi 1.35 into 10 to the power of 6 moment value, that divided by b 100 into h is 200 square. This is Fv is equal to minus 1.68 Newton per mm square. Now calculate tau shear stress. Tau is equal to K3 into V by BH. Substituting the values, we get it as 0.35 Newton per mm square. Now substituting these FH, Fv and tau in the principal stress equation, so we'll get F minimum as 1.7. if you want the formula, so it is Fv plus Fh, Fv plus Fh divided by 2 minus 1 by 2 into root of Fv plus Fh, Fv minus Fh whole square plus 4 tau square. If we substitute, we will get it as F minimum value as 1.7 Newton per mm square. So this is the principal tensile stress. You want the bursting tension force. For that, the distribution diagram will be the distribution diagram. This is the depth of the anchor plate. This is x equal to 0.5 h. You can write that value. This is x equal to 0.25 h. You can write that value, and the maximum value is 1.7 Newton per mm square. Total is 200. Length of the end block is the depth of the section, which is 200 mm. Now if you calculate the area of this parabola, you will get the bursting tension force PBST is equal to 2/3 the rectangular area, 2/3 of the rectangular area, 150 into 1.7 into width. So PBST will be 17 kilonewton. This is the bursting tension force. If you want the area of steel design part, so this is you have to design it for this bursting tension force. You can assume a steel stress value, Fy value you can assume. Suppose if I take Fy value as 250 Newton per mm square, then area of steel required will be AST will be equal to FBST divided by PBST or FBST divided by 0.87 Fy. So 17 into 10 to the power of 3 divided by 0.87 into 250 if you calculate. So you will get area of steel as 78.16 mm square. So you can convert it to number of bars and provide at the end portion of the beam, whose length is equal to the depth of the section. So this is the design. So this problem is eccentric problem by Magnell's method. And this is the table K1, K2, K3 I have assumed. For this also I have assumed it as x by h equal to 0.5 and K1, K2, K3 are taken from this. If K1, x by h is asked for different value, so you have to refer this table. So this is the problems on Magnell's method. Now let us solve these two problems by Guyon's method. So in this video, in the next video we'll take Zelinsky and Ayer's-Codd method. We'll solve the same problems again. Now let us solve the first problem of Magnell's method by Guyon's method. So this will be the first problem on Guyon's method. So the same problem, 120 by 300 mm is there. This is the concentric anchor plate, 120 by 75 mm. Now let us solve this problem. Now for this problem you require a table from textbook Pre-Stress Concrete by N. Krishnaraju, table number 10.2a. So this is the table. The distribution for different distribution ratio, the position of zero stress. In case in the Magnell's method we assumed the position of zero stress at x equal to 0.25 h. So you will get, we need not to assume that, you will get the values directly here. The position of maximum stress is mentioned here. So we calculated position of maximum stress by principal tensile stresses. Now you can calculate position of maximum stress directly from this table, and you can get the maximum, even the maximum tensile stress can be calculated by directly from this table. No formulas are required. So you require is the distribution ratio yp naught by y naught. Yp naught is the 2 yp naught, that is the depth of the anchor plate, 2 y naught the depth of the end block. So that ratio is yp naught by 2 yp naught by 2 y naught, or yp naught by y naught, that is nothing but the distribution ratio. So for that distribution ratio you have to calculate these values. So let us solve this. Very simple problem by Givens method as compared to Magnell's method. Now let us draw the section. This is the section. You have concentric plate, anchor plate. This is the anchor plate, 75 mm depth, width of the section 120, depth of the section 300. Now the P value is 250 kilonewton. 2 yp naught, the depth of the anchor plate, 2 yp naught is 75 mm. This is the depth of the anchor plate, 75 mm, 2 yp naught. And 2 y naught, 2 y naught is the depth of the end block. So the length of the end block is taken as the depth of the width of the section, depth of the section. So 2 y naught is 300 mm. So therefore the distribution ratio is yp naught, 2 yp naught by y naught, or yp naught by y naught, is equal to, it is 75 mm divided by 2, y naught is 300 mm divided by 2. So this is 0.25. So the distribution ratio is 0.25. Now we will calculate the position of maximum stress, position of zero stress, position of maximum stress. Position of zero stress, from the table we will calculate. It is 0.25, and the distribution ratio is 0.25. Now the 0.25 is not there in the distribution ratio, it is 0.3, 0.2 and 0.3. So we need to interpolate between 0.2 and 0.3 and get in between the values 0.14 and 0.16 for position of zero stress, and for position of maximum stress it is 0.3, in between 0.3 and 0.36. You have to interpolate between 0.3 and 0.36. And ratio of maximum tensile stress to average stress ratio, so that ratio we need to take it between 0.3, interpolate between 0.36 and 0.33. And if you interpolate, so for 0.2 you have, and for 0.3 you have. So for 0.3, x by 2 y naught, which is nothing but the zero stress, position of zero stress, it is 0.14 and 0.16. And this position of maximum stress, xm by 2 y naught, it is in between, it is 0.30 and 0.36. and ratio of maximum tensile stress to average ratio, F minimum by F or FV by F, it is in between 0.36 and 0.33. So we have to interpolate between 0.36 and 0.33. Now our values is for 0.25. So this is the distribution ratio Yp naught by Y naught. Now you have to calculate, interpolate between these two and calculate for 0.25, and if you calculate interpolate, we will get the values as between 0.14 and 0.16, you will get it as for 0.25, if you interpolate we will get it 0.15, and here we will get it 0.33 and 0.345. If you want how to interpolate you can take an example here. 0.16 minus 0.14, difference of these two divided by difference of these two, 0.30 minus 0.20 into required value. I require for 0.25 minus the least value 0.20. So this value 0.4, 0.14, 0.16, it is increasing. So that means I have to add this factor to 0.14. So 0.14 plus this value. So you will get it as 0.15. So this is how you can interpolate the values in between the two. So this is 0.15 for, this is x by 2 y naught value. Similarly, you can interpolate x, you will get it 0.33 xm by 2 y naught 0.33 and f minimum by f as 0.345. Now calculate position of zero stress. It is x by 2 y naught is 0.15. So the position of zero stress x is 0.15 into 2 y naught. So it is 0.15 into 2 y naught is 300 mm. So it is 45 mm. So this is the position of zero stress, where we assumed for the earlier as 0.25 times of h. So it is not 0.25 here, it is 0.15 times of h, correct? Actually it is 0.15 times of h by Guyon's method. Now similarly you have xm by 2 y naught as value as 0.33. So therefore position of maximum stress will be equal to xm is equal to 0.33 times 2 y naught. So xm you will get it as maximum value as maximum distance value as 99 mm. In the Magnus method we assumed value as maximum value as x is equal to 0.5 times h, correct? Now the value of the distance is directly 99 mm here. Now the lastly f minimum by f value is, as per the interpolation, it is 0.345. Therefore the principal tensile stress f minimum is 0.345 into f. So 0.345 into fh, fh is p by a, p by a. So 0.345 to p by a, 250 into 10 to the power of 3 divided by a, 120 by 300. And if you calculate, you will get principal tensile stress F minimum is 2.4 Newton per mm square. So therefore the distribution is the distribution diagram. Maximum value is 2.4 Newton per mm square. Distance of zero stress is x is equal to 45 mm, which we have got, and distance of maximum stress xm is 99 mm, and total is the depth of the section, which is 300 mm. So this is the distribution. And if you want FBST, so FBST you can take the area of this parabola, or the formula given is FBST, the bursting tension force FBST is, as per Guyon's method, the equation is 0.3 P into 1 minus yp naught by y naught raised to 0.58. This is the equation for bursting tension force. So 0.3 into 250 into bracket 1 minus yp naught by y naught is the distribution ratio, which we have already calculated, which is 0.25. 0.25 raised to 0.58, and if you calculate, it is 41.4 kilonewton. You will get it in newtons, divided by 1000, it is 41.4 kilonewton. So this is the bursting tension force. So this is as simple as compared to your Magnus method. So this is concentric problem. Now let us solve the same problem of Magnus, eccentric problem of Magnus method by Guyon's method, and we'll end this video. So this is the problem which I have taken in the Magnus method. Now we have to solve this by Guyon's method. The same table required here is the 10.2a, this is the table required. Now this is the section. This is the center of the section. This is the anchor plate, depth of the anchor plate, which is coinciding at the bottom kern. This depth is 50 mm. Depth of the anchor plate is 50 mm. This distance is, total depth is 200 mm, and this depth is 133.33, and this is y naught. There the y naught was 150 previous problem, and 2 y naught will be 300 directly. So here the y naught is for eccentric problem. This is the y naught value. So therefore, so y naught is equal to 66.66 mm. So therefore 2 y naught is 133.33, and 2 yp naught is the depth of the anchor plate, which is 50 mm. So we cannot take 2 y naught as the width of this depth of the section directly as 200 mm. So you have this, as per Guyon's method, the y naught is from the bottom portion to the center of the anchor plate. This is y naught value. And if it's concentric, directly y naught is equal to b by 2. If it is concentric, y naught will be equal to directly the d by 2 value. Now we know y naught and yp naught. So distribution ratio is 2 y naught, 2 yp naught by 2 y naught, or yp naught by y naught, is equal to, if you take the ratio, it is 0.375. This is the ratio, and again 0.375 is not in the table. You have to interpolate between 0.3 and 0.4, that is 0.6, 0.16 and 0.18, 0.36 and 0.39, 0.33 and 0.27 in between these. So if you interpolate, we'll get the values as x by 2 y naught for yp naught by y naught is equal to 0.375. For this, ratio, as per table, we get x by 2 y naught is equal to 0.175, xm by 2 y naught is equal to 0.382, and f minimum by f as 0.285. So therefore, position of zero stress is x value. So x by 2 y naught is 0.175. So x is equal to 0.175 into 2 y naught. So we'll get x value as 23.5 mm. Position of maximum stress. Xm is equal to, so xm by 2 y naught is 0.382, so therefore xm is equal to 0.382 into 2 y naught. So we'll get xm as 51 mm. Then maximum tensile stress. F minimum is equal to, f minimum by f is 0.285. So therefore f minimum is equal to 0.285 times f. So which is 0.285 into p by a. Substitute this p by a. So it is 0.285. P is 100 into 10 to the power of 3 divided by area is 100 by, you cannot take 200, it is 100 by 133.33. So this depth you have to take, you need not to take total depth. So it is for eccentric problem, so very important. So this is 100 by 133.33. So you will get it as f minimum is equal to 2.13. You can calculate, you can draw the distribution diagram. Maximum value, this is x value, this is xm value, this is h value, and this value is f minimum. You can show in the figure. So this is the stress distribution. Now you can calculate the total bursting tension or splitting tension force, FBST, by the formula 0.3 P into 1 minus yp naught by y naught raised to 0.58. And if you calculate, you'll get it as 13.015 kilonewton. Or you can take the area of this parabola, 2/3 of the rectangular area into the width, you can calculate that, but you will have some value difference, but you will get some nearer value of 13 kilonewton. So this is the end of the problem of eccentric problem by Guyon's method. So this problem is easier than the Magnell's method, only thing is you require this table directly. So if you know this table, interpolate the values and calculate the x by 2 y naught, xm by 2 y naught, f minimum by f. So you can calculate the maximum, that is distance of zero stress, distance of maximum stress, and the f minimum value, and draw it and calculate the FBST by this formula. So, this ends the problem. So, now these same two problems which we have solved by Magnus as well as Guyon's method, in the next video we will solve this by Zelinsky method and IS code method. So, that will be the end of the module number 5. Thank you.